Hello guys, welcome back to your English class. Today I'm going to explain you the next topic, future in the past. Now, we have in this case the negative and question form. Now in the first part we have three examples about the negative structure. For example, I wasn't going to study at home. Number 2, she wasn't going to learn English. And number 3, we weren't going to play video games. And as a question, we can say, were you going to study at home? Was she going to learn English? Or were we going to play video games? Now, pay attention with this part. In the first three examples, we use the negative structure. You have to use wasn't for singular subjects or weren't for plural subjects. And in a question form, we have to write at first the auxiliary, were or was, your subject, she, you, or we, and the complement, going to, and the verb in infinitive. Okay, now we're going to check the structure about this. We have the first part, the structure into negative. In this case, we have the subject pronoun, the auxiliary, wasn't or weren't, going to, and the infinitive verb. For example, 1. I wasn't going to play. Number 2, you weren't going to study. 3, he wasn't going to work. 4, she wasn't going to eat. Next one, it wasn't going to try. We weren't going to cook, and they weren't going to sing. The idea is you just need to change the auxiliary, wasn't or weren't, depending on your subject. If your subject is singular, wasn't. If your subject is plural, weren't. That's all. Okay? Now, what about the question form? The question, we have your auxiliary, was or were, your subject pronoun, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, the phrase going to, the verb in infinitive, and the question mark. Don't forget the question mark. And if you want to answer each question, you have the answers on this part. For example, if I ask you, was I going to play? Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Number 2, were you going to study? Yes, you were. No, you weren't. Number 3, was he going to work? Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. Number 4, was she going to eat? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. Number 5, was it going to try? Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Were we going to cook? Yes, we were. No, we weren't. And were they going to sing? Yes, they were. Or no, they weren't. Now, the most important part is this, the auxiliary. It has to be at first, don't forget it, and your question mark. Okay, don't forget to write your question mark. If you don't write your question mark, it won't be a question. Okay, now the exercise. In this case, we have a table with different sentences in affirmative way. Now you have to write it into negative structure and question form. For example, the first one, I was going to buy a new computer. I was going to buy a computer. I wasn't going to buy a new computer. Okay? And question, was I going to buy a new computer? The next one, children were going to visit Italy. Children weren't going to visit Italy. Or were children going to visit Italy? The next one, my father was going to work. My father wasn't going to work. Or was my father going to work? And next one, Alfred was going to meet his friends. Negative, Alfred wasn't going to meet his friends. And question, was Alfred going to meet his friends? And the next one, Martha and Carol were going to come. Negative, Martha and Carol weren't going to come. Question, were Martha and Carol going to come? And the last one, Sofia was going to win the tournament. Sofia wasn't going to win the tournament, or the question, was Sofia going to win the tournament? Okay, now pay attention. As you can see, we have affirmative way, was, negative, wasn't, question, was I, and question, were, weren't, were children. Okay, this is the most important part. You have to get familiar with the structure in the three ways. Okay, and finally, the last exercise. In this case, we have 9 sentences, and what are you gonna do? You have to change them into negative and question form. All of the sentences that you have on this exercise are affirmative. Now, you have to change them into negative form and question form. Don't forget to check the verb, and if you have to make a question, don't forget to add your question mark. Okay, and that's all, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you're okay. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.